Hi and welcome to the next episode on the Black Mini. Today I'm going to make a start on getting this thing completely stripped, ready to rebuild the white one. As you can see, I've already started in earnest. I've sold the front bumper. The driver's door's been sold as well as the rear bumper. So we're going to crack on and get the rest of the ancillaries off, keep them as spares for the white one. Right, the first job, we're going to have these rear lights off. Very simple on this. If you look inside there, there's one 10mm nut which I've already taken off, and you can see those silver clips in there. If I can get the light in there enough, you just got to push those in and out they pop. There we go, both rear lights off. Right, the next job is to have this headlining out because it's in far better condition than the white one. But before we do that, we're just going to whip these front seats out just so we've got plenty of space to play with. The seats are held in by 4 T40s, 2 at the front and 2 at the back. And then it's just a case of disconnecting the airbag loom on the seats and obviously the pre-tensioner wiring. Right, that's the driver's seat out. Time to move on to the passenger side. Right, that's the passenger seat all disconnected. I'm going to pull it out this way because I've got no clearance the other side. We'll keep these for spares or maybe for another little car. Here we go. Right, now the front seat's out, we've got plenty of space inside so we can get to this headlining without having to climb over everything. Very easy to take out on these. Obviously you just pop the A pillar trim, the B pillar trim and the C, and then work your way around, take out the interior grab handles and the sun visors and that centre console and the mirror. I'm not going to do a video on this because it's all straightforward, but we'll stop when we get ready to take the actual headlining out itself. Right, that's all the ancillaries off. It's just a case now of gently prising the headlining away and disconnecting the 2 interior lights. Right, it's slowly coming away, but before you tug and damage anything, I found that the interior light is actually screwed in, so you need to pop the lens off, and then there's 2 Phillips screws up in there. Right, there's the headline all off. We just need to turn it at a slight angle, and then we should be able to pull it out the rear. Right, and there we have it, one headline successfully removed. Right, that's it for the inside for the time being. I don't know what other parts I actually might need for the white one because I haven't checked. But for the time being, we'll leave that as is and we'll move on to the front again. Right, moving back onto the front, we're going to have these headlights off. We'll take the grille off and the front badge so we can start dismantling the front end. Right, first off, we're going to have the headlights off. So it's just a simple case of disconnecting the wiring loom, both sides. Each headlight is held on by 3 8mm, 1 at the front, 2 at the back, so we'll crack on, we'll get those undone, and we should be able to just pull the headlights out. Alright, that's both headlights undone, so now they should just literally pull forward. There we go. Now there we go. And out it comes. Just like that. Right, let's move to the other side. Alright, let's pop the passenger side out and then we can move on to the grille. There we go. Right, the bonnet grille's held on with a series of 10s across the leading edge and again at the back there. So we'll crack on, we'll get those undone and then we should be able to just pull the grille off. Right, now those are all done, we'll just pull the front grille off. There we go. Before we can move on to the next stage. Right, let's have the airbag and steering wheel off. Obviously the battery's disconnected, in fact it's even been removed. I've already set up the key so we can turn the steering wheel. There's a little indentation there. All you need to do is find an appropriate tool, pop it in there and push on a metal pin and that will release the airbag. Right, so there we have the airbag released. And just be very careful. Now we just pop the connectors off the back here. Right, those clips are undone. And there's the airbag. Now it's just a simple case of locking the steering wheel, undoing the 16mm there, and obviously popping the cable off there from the clock spring, which we'll do first of all. There we go, that one's off. Now we take the key out, put the steering lock on, because we don't want the steering wheel turning, do we, when we try to undo that nut there. Right, let's crack on. Right, I've cracked the nut. So it's just a simple case of undoing it, wiggling the steering wheel, and it should come off nicely. There we go. Right. Be careful not to catch the wires on the clock spring. And there it comes. One steering wheel. Right, I've had the steering shroud off. It's just a series of T25 torques and obviously the rev counter that sits on top. That's revealed the clock spring, but we'll have that off in a minute. But while I'm here, I'm just going to take some of the trim off. First of all, we're going to take the gaiter off the handbrake. I've already undone the cable tie that was on it, and then it slides off. And then obviously we want this off as well, so it's just a twist of the knob that should come off. There we go. And obviously off it comes. Always good to have a spare gaiter. I say that. Hang on, this one's got, yeah, that's got a cable tie on it as well. There we go. I've split the cable tie. Now it just slides off. There we go. We'll keep those for later. Right, let's get the clock spring off. Held on by 3 T25s, so we'll crack on with that. Right, clock spring off. He says there's a clip somewhere that I'm missing. Yeah, there it comes. Just attached to the wire still. There you go. Disconnect the wires and it will come free. Right, the final wire. Always the tightest. Oh, let's put the camera down. Right, there we go, one clock spring off. Right, rear crash bar off. This is held on with 8 12mm, 4 each side. These have already been done, so they're just held in finger tight. So I'll just get that one off there. So it doesn't drop. And on this side. And off it comes. There we go. Right, as you can see, I've taken a few more trim panels off. I wanted to take these off just so I could see how they come off, and also to keep them as spares for the white one, because I'll probably colour code them at some point. Right, the steering wheel's back on. We're going to wheel this outside. We'll have the wheels off, and then we're going to start dismantling the front end again. Right, there we go. All the wheels are off, looking very sorry for itself. Now we just need to crack on, remove the front end, and drop this engine. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to drop it on the subframe just to save a little bit of time. Right, time to get the front reinforcement bar off and take the whole of the front panel off and the radiator. I won't do a video of this because it was covered in one of the previous episodes. Right, let's get cracking. Right, front bumper reinforcement is off. Right, time to get the aircon rad off. I'm pretty sure, looking at the state of this, this will have no gas in it because it's absolutely knackered. But just to be on the safe side, so I don't get a face full of stuff, we'll give it a test here, see if we've got any coming out. Oh, very minimal. Nope, that's empty. Okay, so we can go ahead, undo that, pull those to get access to the radiator again. Right, that's the aircon rad off. That's definitely seen better days. No use for that whatsoever. That's pure scrap. Right, let's carefully remove this front radiator because obviously we don't want to damage this because it's brand new. I'm going to save the coolant as well because it hasn't even done 1 mile. Right, there's the front panel all taken off again. And there's all the parts. Right, time to get the exhaust off. Keep this as a spare because it looks reasonably new. Right, we're just going to take that cover off there, undo those, and obviously we'll undo the back box as well and have that all off. But while we're under here, you can see how crispy that rear subframe is. Probably a good thing I am stripping this. It doesn't look like that's got much more life left in it. And it hasn't holed, it's all surface, but it's absolutely filthy. Filthy and covered in rust. Oh, there we go, look at the state of it. It's just peeling off. So yeah. I think the white one is the one to go for because that doesn't look too bad. It's absolutely covered in it. The same everywhere. Look at it. The shock absorber's seen better days as well. Right, exhaust is all undone. Hopefully you've got enough wiggle room here to just pull it off without lifting the car again, which I have with ease. Out we come. Make sure we don't catch on anything. Yes, that's reasonably new, that one. Keep that as a spare. There we go, one exhaust. Right, well, I've cracked on. I've taken the ECU out, disconnected the fuse box, disconnected all the wiring loom there. Also had the battery tray out so we can get to everything. I've disconnected the brake server pipe. We've disconnected and removed the expansion tank. We've also had off the power steering reservoir. So hopefully now we just need to do the engine mounts both sides. Obviously the strut bolts, again, both sides. I've already done the rear subframe bolts, and then it's just a case of doing the front subframe bolts, disconnecting the brake hoses, the brake pipes, whatever, and the the ABS sensors. Right, once I've done all that, I should just be able to lift this shell straight off the engine and subframe assembly. Right, mustn't forget to remove the fuel lines, so just push those tabs in and you should be able to pull it off. Just stick that out of the way somewhere. Come on, in you go, lovely. All right, this one goes under there, so we just take off the cover. There we go. Right, that's one of those push fits as well, so we just put the camera down so I can do that. Right, that's that fuel line off as well. While I'm here, I mustn't forget this earthing strap because that will cause issues. We'll just pop that one off. Again, 13mm. We'll just take that off down at the chassis rail there. Right, also before I get too carried away, I need to undo the steering rack, which is a 13mm with a pinch bolt in there. Otherwise that will still be attached. And then moving across here, we also need to disconnect the gear linkages from the gearbox. Otherwise we'll have issues trying to lift this out. Right, in order to get the steering rack off, I've crudely made a steering wheel because I've misplaced the one I've taken off this already. So a set of mole grips there gives you ample play just to turn it around so you can get access to that 13mm nut. Right, that's the gear linkages all disconnected. I've put them up there and a cable tied them out of the way so they don't foul anything when we come to lift the engine. While we're on this side, we're also just going to disconnect the coolant hoses there going to the heater matrix. And then we should be ready to move on to the subframe. Right, moving on to the subframe. Just got to disconnect the lower control arms, both sides, and then at the front in there, I think it's a 16 and an 18, both sides. Right, that's the front subframe bolts off. This side was 16, and the other side over here was 18. I don't know if that was normal, but they're undone anyway, and the thing has just dropped slightly because obviously we're still. Oh, here we go. You hear it there. Right, now that's all nice and loose. We'll get it back on the floor. We'll disconnect the brake hoses. Disconnect engine mounts both sides and undo the suspension top, and then hopefully we should just be able to lift the body clean off and leave the engine and subframe on the floor. Okay, that's the front brake hoses off both sides. I took the wires out of the way, and again with this loom we'll just huck it out there. Right, now we just need to move on to the engine mounts, undo those, and then hopefully in theory we should just be able to lift the car off the subframe, so long as I haven't missed anything. Right, there we go, there's all the engine mounts off. Right, as you can see, the engine's nice and loose now. It's sitting on the floor and on the front edge of that subframe, so that's all ready to go. I've just got to do the 330mm on the strut tops there, and we should be able to lift this off. Right, I keep saying this, but in theory we're ready to lift this now. Having never done one of these, we shall soon see whether I've missed anything, but we'll go nice and carefully and see if we can get this detached from the shell. Okay, well I've moved both suspension legs. I've disconnected the connectors on the power steering rack. So in theory, we should just be able to walk this engine off the front subframe. No, we can't because I've forgotten an engine mount. Right there. Oh, and it's right underneath. Right, we better do that first. Right, take two. Now I've undone that rear engine mount. Now we should be able to walk the engine off the subframe. Here it comes. There we go. Right, there we have it. Engine and subframe have been disconnected. I'll have obviously take the exhaust off just to make it easier to move around. Leave the drive shafts all intact for the time being. I think I'm just going to throw the subframe away because the white one is far better condition, and we're going to get it powder coated anyway. Right, we'll scrap the idea of getting the steering rack off. In doing so, I've noticed that this side has got a crack all the way through it, so it's absolutely shot. This must have been from the original accident damage where it was hit on the right hand side there, but I had no idea that that was broken at all. You couldn't feel it in the drive of the car, but it wasn't until you dismantled it that that steering rack is absolutely shot. But we will have the power steering pump off because we know that's all good. Right, and there's the engine all ready on the pallet. We're not going to do too much of this. We're probably going to take a few ancillaries off it, give it a damn good clean, may paint the block, I don't know yet. We're going to go for an aircon delete on it as well. We're going to drop the sump because it's absolutely filthy, clean the oil pickup, put a new gasket on it. Obviously we're going to swap the gearboxes over because this one's got about 120, 130,000 miles on it, whereas the other one's only got 60. So we'll have that off. We'll change the clutch while we're doing it. Might go for an uprated one, may go for an uprated flywheel, but we shall see. We'll also put a new gasket on for the exhaust as well, and also we need a rocker cover gasket because it's weeping on that side. But we'll do all that before we even think about putting it into the white Mini. Obviously we'll have the subframe off the Mini and give it a good old sandblast and get it powder coated. Right, sadly that's the end of the road for the black Mini. It's been completely dismantled. I've loaded it up with all the scrap that I had kicking around. I just need to load it up and take it to the scrapyard. But it will live on in some form. Obviously the engine is going on the white one. But yeah, that one is finished.